So let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Mr. Rao. Shri UGM Rao, an All India Services IRAS officer, is the Managing Director of Andhra Pradesh Metro Rail Corporation Limited, has rich experience and in-depth knowledge in railways and metro rail sectors by virtue of working in the top managerial positions for over 40 years. As Managing Director of Andhra Pradesh Metro Rail Corporation Limited, he has been heading 4 major metro rail and other urban transportation projects under implementation by the Andhra Pradesh government worth more than 40,000 crore Indian rupees in value. A highly acclaimed officer received 12 prestigious leadership and management awards that prove his dedication and commitment towards achieving the key performance goal of the organizations. And today, sir is going to present on the cost-effective mass rapid public transportation system in urban India for transforming India's developed nation. So let's once again put our hands together to welcome sir.
Finish it as early as possible. Friends, very good afternoon to all of you and welcome once again to the 5th Rail and Metro Rail Conclave. I know this is a napping hour after heavy lunch, but the organization chosen me because I am sound and clear. So let us start. Let us start about that metro rail sector. I am from Indian Railways, an IRAS officer. I was there for 35 years in various managerial positions, and then I moved to Metro Rail, Andhra Pradesh Metro Rail Corporation, and heading the Managing Director post, and we are planning for 4 major projects, 2 in Visakhapatnam and 2 in the Vijayawada and the new capital city Amaravati. Friends, in the metro rail sector, the first metro was an underground metro in Calcutta in 1973, the then most populated city, and for some time it was dormant for some reasons because the capital cost is very heavy and the construction at that time was complicated and took a lot of time and so on. But in 94-95, we started slowly with the Delhi Metro, which is very successful metro rail system in India, and it is expanding. Now it is more than 400 kilometers, and further also they are planning for phase 5. So then came Bangalore and all that. But for the last 10 years, there is a momentum. It has taken a momentum, and in many cities, we have established metro rail systems. About 28 cities have already been planned, already in operation in 18 cities. But in another 10 cities, construction is going on and approved by the government of India, and the financial closure is going on. So the target is very big. So I have today came here bringing a bonanza of business opportunities from the metro rail sector to all the industries. See how it helps. It is a general talk. It's a special address. Not only limited to my 4 projects, my 4 projects are among the metro rail projects in 100 cities to come up in the near future. So cost-effective mass rapid public transportation systems in urban India for transforming India into a developed nation. In the last 10 years, India has crept up from 7th position to the 5th position and now aspiring to the third highest economy nation to be by 2027. And the Vikasit Bharat is there for 2047 with much more expectations. So let us talk the nearest target of 2027 and then reaching from the present GDP, which is at 3.4 trillion US dollars to more than 5.5 trillion USD in a short span of 3-4 years is no mean achievement. Unless we have to expand our agricultural, industrial, service sectors vividly across the country. So the big ticket aspiration is to keep India in the row of developed nations. To become a developed nation, there are so many parameters. The per capita income is one of the most important thing, which is now the India's per capita income is 2,311 according to the last year statistics, US dollars per capita. So very less in comparison to the first 2-3 countries. So the developed nations, we have to see that the corruption, in the corruption index, we have to come down to single digit, and the happiness quotient should go up. The entire cities and countryside also should be very clean with wider roads and drainages, etc., etc. There are so many parameters to become a developed nation, but unless we step ahead, we can't reach that. Our aim is to reach there, and we have the rich human resources with us, the lot of intelligentsia. So I am sure if everybody join hands with the nation's aspirations, we can achieve and we can place India in the row of developed nations. As I said, large-scale development of agricultural, industrial and service sectors are to be taken place across the country. So this will result in the lot of urbanization also. A high percent of urbanization, the people will migrate to the cities in search of job opportunities. So the towns will become cities and the cities will become mega cities. So when it is like that, and when people are migrating to the cities, the city outskirts will be blown up. In the city outskirts, there is the expansion of the city will be there, and the places, the workplaces are the places of need. Even a hospital, good hospital, or a good market, all these things, or the district collector office or municipal commissioner's office, all the government offices are already established in the center of the city. If the people are there, far away from the city CBD, Central Business District, so it's very difficult for them. Even in the traveling only, lot of time will be wasted. So we have to ensure that 100% productivity, 100% productivity, not only the production, productivity should be ensured. Then only the profitability and other things we can look at. So for this, a robust transportation system is necessary for the people to reach to their places right on time. Friends, here the metro rails play its vital role in the cities. So, as I said, why India needs mass rapid urban transportation systems? And again the question is, Right. And as I told you, and many people knows also, the metro rail systems are a bit capital intensive projects. In the beginning, because it is a rail based system and the capex will be high in comparison to the other public transportations like buses and other general. So, generally the state governments will take a choice towards low-cost transportation, but in the long run, metro rail systems are going to be financially sustainable, financially viable for a long time. And once you have established a metro rail system, it will go for 100 years months forever. So now, the metro rail sector, we have concentrated how to bring down the cost. So there is a 3 C's in the metro rail sector: cost, construction, ease and comfort. Because my time is going on, so I am reading out. Cost should be seen as a life cycle cost, but not the immediate MRP. MRP come hai, so if you take it, it will go off within 5 years or 10 years. So we have to see that the whole life cycle cost is economic. And construction phase of metro rail projects are complex, as I said. Since the corridors are in busy city routes, it's very difficult in the busy routes to construct. There are many problems will come, and the total project cost, generally 50% will be civil, and non-civil will be about 45%, and the other overheads will be 5%. So commuter comforts and passenger experience, you have very high commuter comfort and passenger experience, including the speed, taking you in your place right on time. It is fast, punctual, reliable, affordable, pollution-free, safe journey, etc. And low-cost Metro Light and Metro Neo and light metro systems are therefore designed, and light metro system is the choicest one. So what are the new technologies we brought in the metro rail sector? Because we have an advantage, the metro rails are limited to the cities. So it will be in the radius of 100 kilometers, so we can have the satellite based system, GPS systems also. We can take the help of that. We can take the help of artificial intelligence, IoT things, etc. And are the city people, and it is easy to adaptability to the new systems. So these two advantages are there for metros. So here what new technologies we have brought in to bring down the capex as well as operating and maintenance cost. U-shaped girders and precast concrete structures, TBM machines with calculated hedges, indigenous rails and PVA fittings, low-cost architecturally designed station platform covers and sidewalls, anti-corrosion aluminum body metro cars, and third rail power supply system instead of OHE, ticketing as a common mobility cards, usage of AI and IoT things, technologies vividly. These are not exhaustive, they are listed very much. Thanks again. Let us meet again.